In this week's chapter, we read about, among other things, social referencing. Now, if you'd like, you can pause the video while you go to that section of the chapter on social referencing. Now, what's interesting about social referencing is that it occurs as early as infancy. And of course, we read that social referencing is when children rely usually on adults for emotional cues that help them determine how to act or react or respond to certain situations or events. So, for example, let's say that you're a parent who is taking your child to a petting zoo, and the child is checking out all these different animals, many of which the child perhaps hasn't ever seen or touched before. So, of course, the child will go to the animal, look at you as to say, is it okay that I touch or pet or stroke this animal? And then, of course, your emotional cues could be, as if to say, go ahead. Or your emotional cue could be, no, you better stay away from that. Or maybe your emotional cue could be, yep, go ahead, carefully. Now, to add to what we read about social referencing in the chapter, social referencing may begin in infancy, but it does not end during toddlerhood. As a matter of fact, it extends into the preschool years. What do I mean? Well, in the syllabus, you read that I used to be a preschool teacher. And as you may gather, as a preschool teacher, I was always the only one who was a, guess, right, a man. I was always the only man preschool teacher. Now, here's where social referencing comes in. As a male preschool teacher, I gave off certain emotional cues unintentionally. I had no idea that I was giving them off. And I must have been, because as a male preschool teacher, I was always the only one that the children would go to if they wanted to play any games or activities that required significant physical activity, such as chase, hide and seek, or anything that featured a child saying, na 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 boo boo. So, that was my emotional cue. So therefore, that's how the child would socially reference me. They would see me as a man preschool teacher, and as such, I was giving off these emotional cues as to say, you can chase me, you can play hide and seek with me, you can play duck, duck, goose with me, you can challenge me to a race, you can do anything that requires physical activity. Now, did I like doing all of that? Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no, but that's not the point. The point is that during the preschool years, the way preschoolers socially reference male teachers is different than how they socially reference female preschool teachers. Now you might ask, so how do they socially reference the female preschool teachers? Well, they're the ones who give emotional cues such as, you can come to me whenever you're sad, you can come to me whenever you're hurt, you can come to me when you're feeling significantly emotional in one way or another. Yep. That is typically how female preschool teachers are socially referenced by the preschoolers. Now, if you're a preschool teacher, maybe you could vouch for that. Maybe you can't vouch for that. I don't know. Now, let me give you a specific situation. I was playing chase with a 4-year-old named Yesenia, and it was a chase game. And I was the chaser, and Yesenia was the chasee. So we were running around and around and around and around, and I was chasing after her, and Of course, I usually don't catch her. I usually let her run faster than I do. I mean, it's only fair. So, chase, 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 until finally Yesenia fell, hurt herself, and began to cry. So, naturally, my response was, "Oh, Yesenia, come here. You got an owie? Come here, let me look at it." So, she ran towards me, crying, but then she ran past me. Where did she go? She went to the nearest female preschool teacher. Why? Because preschoolers socially reference female preschool teachers as ones who give band-aids and care to owies. Because female teachers give different emotional cues than male preschool teachers do, at least in my experience. Now, when Yesenia didn't come to me when she was hurt, I must admit that I felt confused and a little bit slighted. But then, of course, when I got home, I realized, oh, of course, I'm a male preschool teacher, so Yesenia didn't socially reference me as somebody who would give a Band-Aid. She socially referenced me as somebody who would engage in physical activity. Chase, hide and seek, duck, duck, goose, anything of that particular nature. So, anyway, I just wanted to add a little something as far as social referencing and how preschoolers tend to socially reference males different than females, preschool teachers. Okay, so the only other thing you have to look at on the reference page are the comic strips below. Here's a situation where Elizabeth, a toddler, is reluctant to go to daycare. And I want to share this with you because those of you who are parents maybe have encountered this situation of a reluctant toddler. When you're done reading this particular story, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that in this week's journal. And that's it.